Hasan caught glazing a terrorist again, this time the worst. What is this?
Hi again, everyone.
Oh, God.
I'm back with a little update for you guys regarding Hasan. First of all, I want to thank everyone for watching the content nuke and enjoying it. And I'm glad to see that a lot of people have really resonated with the message. One of those people, unfortunately, is not Hasan Piker, who has continued to spread—
I would have never guessed that Hasan was not a fan of the video that said that he was bad for 2 hours. Yeah, I could have guessed that.
Hamas propaganda and even elevated his brazenness. Take, for example, the tragic story of the Bibas family. The dad, 2 kids, and the mom were all taken hostage on October 7th after the grandparents were murdered in their home.
Wow.
The children, 8 months and 3 years old, was kidnapped with their mom, and the dad was kidnapped separately. Hamas murdered the children and their mom in captivity and recently just returned their corpses to Israel. Let's take a look at how Hasan reacted to this tragic update.
As music blares, Hamas fighters carry the coffins of 4 dead Israeli hostages, 2 of them children, the youngest to have been abducted on October the 7th. On stage, an offensive propaganda message blaming Prime
offensive propaganda message. Offensive propaganda message. Offensive propaganda message.
Hasan has it in his heart somehow to laugh at the coffins of 2 slain children at the hands of a violent terrorist organization. According to the forensic experts, the children were strangled to death, murdered at the hands of Hamas, likely because they didn't know how to take care of 2 young kids in captivity for 2 years. So instead of taking care of them, they chose to murder them.
The war criminal Netanyahu and his Nazi army killed them with missiles from Zionist warplanes. What are we doing? There is no lie here. This is correct. The fuck?
Hasan wants us to believe that the only thing wrong with this is that they called him a Nazi, right? Obviously, it's the way that they're parading around this family of these murdered children, these innocent children. Can he really not see the tastelessness in this? The disrespect? Take a look at his chat. It's no better. The truth is offensive. Hamas has the best fits. To the slain Israeli family, rip bozo. How do I get that poster? They snapped on that. That mural kicks ass. Dude, it was a family. Correction. Settlers. Implying that children born in Israel deserve to be slaughtered. Quote, their home? Lol. It is their home. They were born there. Whose home are they in again? Their home? Yes, it's their home. They were born there. The mom was an IDF spy. They were not civilians, and they used their kids as human shields. I really don't even know what to say about that one. I might call this person schizophrenic, but I'm afraid this is just what happens to your brain when you watch Hasan for too long. Hamas is fucking based, and I'm tired of people pretending they're not. Again,
That's a lot. I mean, like, this is like one comment in chat, right? I mean, he's got like thousands of people in chat. You're going to have a couple of comments that pop off. But yeah, that's a bad comment for sure.
This is just a few examples from the 30 seconds preceding Hasan's statement.
It's disgusting.
I'll let the chat run for you at the end of the video, and you can take your time to read through it to see just how vile it is. You'll notice that there is overwhelming support for the propaganda for Hamas, and zero respect shown for the dead children. Notice here, however, that one person says defended Hasan. Watch how quickly this gets moderated out of his chat.
Yeah, including Guardian, BBC, and other Western...
There it is.
That was really fast. Wow.
It's gone. Hasan claims he has no control over how his chat is moderated,
I bet he is.
apparently. Yet, 90% of it is people celebrating the death of these kids. And the one person that has even the slightest bit of pushback is immediately moderated. After laughing over the corpses of slain...
I think that that's a bit of an exaggeration, but overall, I mean... I don't... I mean, these are terrorists, right? I mean, they're obvious fucking terrorists. How is it anything other than that? I don't know. It's not. Now defend him. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying, like, if I read the chat and I look at the chat, let me see if I can find it. Fuck.
There it is. It's gone.
Like, what's the problem? Chatter, just stop. These people are innocent. Hamas bombed themselves. What's the problem with the presentation? Israel literally bulldozed the rebels. Yeah, I could see some of them that are negative, some of them that are not.
Moderated. After laughing over the corpses of slain children, Hasan continues to guzzle Hamas propaganda. And this reaction that I can only describe as nauseating. Take a look.
Here it is.
Now let's take a look at how the hostages were released. I wonder if Western media will actually show the release videos, because there was some interesting sites that were disconcerting for the Israeli state and their project overall. But let's see.
Omer was among 6 released by Hamas in Gaza this morning. The 6 are the last living hostages to be returned in this ceasefire's first phase.
Yeah.
The 22-year-old was paraded on stage. He'd been kidnapped from a music festival, and yet remarkably, he kissed 2 of the men who had been...
I hope he said no homo after, bro. Straight up. Hey, Hasan, please give us your take. I mean, it's the same as the dudes who fucking dapped up the...
I saw this. Didn't they make this guy do that? My understanding is they made this guy do that, and they made other hostages watch these hostages get released. Like, because this is obviously for PR. It's very clearly for PR.
The Hamas dudes. The dudes who dapped them up in the first ceasefire, do you not remember? And everybody freaked the fuck out about it. And they were like, oh, they must be drugged. Hamas is giving them drugs. And that's why they're dabbing them up. Hamas gave them the drugs that make you dab up Hamas. It turns out that there is a new, even scarier drug out there that Hamas has in their hands. It's called the drug that makes you kiss Hamas.
That drug is called a gun to your head. And it's so painfully obvious of a concept, I feel nauseated even having to say it.
Here you can see the head propagandist giving the hostage instructions. The hostage looks to his side to make sure he understands. Then the propagandist leans in to explain the strategy to the 2 terrorists on his left. And right on cue, the hostage leans in to kiss not one, but the 2 of them.
Of course, right? I mean, of course they're going to do this. Yeah, obviously.
It's clear to anyone with a functioning brain that this was not done out of affection for his captors.
Well, and even if it was, like, this is the other issue, is that, like, there's already the established idea of the, what is it called? Stockholm Syndrome, right? Where people begin to, have a degree of sympathy for their captors. That doesn't necessarily mean that the captors are good people. So, like, I don't see how you could make any argument that this is a good thing at all.
Of course, we don't need to even look at the footage. Just ask the hostage what he thought. Here's the hostage who was kissing him on the head. In Hebrew, it says, I had no choice. The dogs made me do it. Hasan.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, I mean, there it is. They made it. So, all right. I guess that's it. It's not even Stockholm Syndrome.
He even took to his Discord to share his thoughts. First, they had the drug that makes you dab Hamas. Now they have one that makes you kiss Hamas. I'm losing my mind. I don't know who else to share this info with. Jesus. A good place to start would be a therapist. The next best place would maybe be the NSA. More excerpts from the hostages say that they were forced to drink seawater, that they were giving rotten food, and that they were held in cages. Or has Hasan...
Well, yeah, because they're hostages. They're hostages from a terrorist organization. I would expect they were not treated particularly well.
Hasan likes to call it hospitality. What gracious hosts they are.
Bro, every time they're releasing hostages, the next wave they're going to be like, actually, I'm good. Like, I'm staying.
Well, I'm happy
how do you buy into that? I just don't see how you can buy into that whenever the guy, I mean, it's very clear that the guy was told what he was supposed to do. And then the person who did it immediately comes out and says, no, I only did that because they told me to do that. Like, how do you buy into that at all?
The content nuke was able to make its way around and really influence people's thoughts on the matter. I am disheartened to see that Hasan is still spreading without any care in the world disgusting, violent, anti-Semitic Hamas propaganda that dehumanizes Israelis and delegitimizes their suffering. As I said,
I mean, I'll admit, like, I thought it was kind of funny seeing the poster for a second, but it was funny because of how ridiculous the Photoshop was. It wasn't funny because of what it said or what happened. I mean, I think you can say, wow, that's a ridiculous Photoshop to make this guy look this way. But, like, it's obviously not good.
Content nuke. We must always keep the plight of the Palestinians at the front of our mind. The point that I've made that is consistently lost on Hasan is that we have to care about everyone. You have to show empathy for both sides. You can't laugh over the coffins of slain Israeli children because they're Israeli. Peace has never felt further away when people like Hasan are turning people against each other, fomenting hate, disinformation, while supporting radical, reactionary, terrorist organizations. Peace happens when both sides see each other.
It is kind of crazy to just go and openly say that the terrorist organization, you know, that's holding hostages is doing so in anything other than an oppressive and terrible way. It's crazy, especially with how many interviews and people that were, like, you know, taken hostage and talked about it afterwards. I mean, like, what is this?
As human, recognize the humanity in each other. That's when we come together and find peace. Hasan is doing the opposite. During this war, Hasan has poisoned the minds of many young people with the idea that Israelis are evil, that they are all valid military targets, that the babies are settlers. And this is the result: laughing over the coffins of slain children, unable to spare a mote of dust of empathy for innocents that were killed in Israel. And just like a radical extremist in Israel that says all Palestinians are valid military targets, which I would condemn a million times, and I cry and my heart bleeds for all the innocents that are dying in Gaza. Why can't you do the same?
Well, there it is. I don't know why. I do not understand what the end goal is for glazing terrorists this hard. I don't think this is to any benefit. And I actually think that it alienates a lot of people. I think that it alienates a tremendous amount of people. It's crazy. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, making more terrorists. Well, I think that what I think it does is that people see videos like this and they see somebody talking about, like, oh yeah, like these, you know, like prisoners aren't actually prisoners, etc. And they go unpunished, right? Well, that's another component. I saw, like, there was this clip. Let me see if I can find it here. Like, I do, as I said, I do try to maintain a degree of neutrality with a lot of this stuff. And I try not to go too, like, super hard on it. I'll link you guys the video real quick before I get into it. And we'll go and look at that. Pretty simple. Yeah, there's the video. It's the Ethan video. People are so ideologically captured, it's sad. I think a lot of people are. I saw this the other day, actually this morning. Where is it here? Here we go.
There's about $50 billion estimated that are lost every year in Medicaid, just in fraud alone. No.
If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott, okay? You wouldn't make Rick Scott, former governor of Florida, Rick Scott, you wouldn't make him a prominent part of the Republican Party.
There's about $50 billion estimated that are lost.
That is crazy. That is nuts. And I've said before, there's a statute of limitations, but apparently this was yesterday. Yeah, this happened yesterday even. Oh my God. How's that not against the TOS? It is. And it is an open call to violence. And I would challenge anybody who thinks that it's not an open call to violence to say that exact thing about Donald Trump and then tell me if Secret Service shows up at your house or not. Really. It's very obviously a call to violence. And Twitch doesn't do anything. Well, I don't know if they've really seen it or anybody's reported it or anything like that. The clip's too short. Maybe it's out of context. I hope so. I definitely do. Hopefully it's out of context. How are you going to defend him now? I will say that this, advocating to kill an elected representative of the government is not good no matter what, right? I mean, there's no other perspective to have. It doesn't matter what the perspective is. Like, you can't say that. It's insane.
Fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott, okay? You wouldn't make Rick Scott former governor.
That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Totally indefensible. I'm shocked, honestly. Why can't you come right out against Hasan? Everybody always gets mad at me for that, but I'm literally doing that right now. Like, the thing is that it's so obviously a call to violence. It's so obviously not something that you should say. You're obviously wrong for saying it. There's no justification at all to say something like that in any capacity. Like, that's it. Context matters. I don't see where the context for this would matter or make a difference. Yeah, he was addressing the U.S. government. What one could say means death penalty. Well, I don't know about that. How is it a call for violence? It's a joke. It's a joke. Would you tell that joke about Donald Trump? Would you tell the joke or not? No sane person tells jokes like that? No, I'm just saying, like, Donald Trump didn't commit Medicare fraud, but yes, if he did, then yes. Okay, so then no. Okay, so the answer to that is no then, right? Because and the reason why is you know why. You know exactly why. Everybody knows why. It's because it is a threat. It's obviously a threat. It is a call to violence. And if he had said that about the president, he'd probably be already visited by Secret Service. That's the truth. It's crazy. Absolutely fucking insane. This looks like satire to me. I don't know if he meant it. I don't know. I hope it is. I certainly hope it is. Maybe it is. But I'll tell you this, it's not the first time. This is the second time. No joke. Yes, neither of these, by the way, have resulted in any sort of action from Twitch at all. Your Reddit advocated for killing too. Sorry for spam. Yeah, but here's the difference, right? When did my Reddit advocate for killing people? When did this happen? And also, when did I advocate for it? Because, like, if I'm advocating for it, then that's very different. Like, there's somebody in my chat or in my Reddit community that said something bad. I believe you. I bet that's probably true. I do. I think that's definitely true. But we ban those people who say that stuff. 6 mod actions? Yeah, this is a, give me a minute. Yeah, let me see what this guy's saying. We don't want American companies. Subreddit was calling for violence. Okay, let's find it out. What's the title of the thread? We never advocating for killing anybody on Reddit. What the fuck? No, I have no doubt that somebody in my community has advocated for killing someone at some point in time. Yeah, of course that's happened. Also, people think handing over the wrong corpse as a joke is retarded. Well, I don't know about that. Yeah, what's the title for it? Can I send someone to your mods? Yeah, sure. If you want to send it to my mods, that's fine. Yeah, then they can link it. But anyway, so I'm just... I'm kind of shocked that this is happening. And I also want to say that this rise in extremism and this rise in extremist rhetoric will eventually be very, very damaging for Twitch. Because eventually somebody will say something, will this be the time? It probably won't be the time. But eventually somebody will say something and it's going to get mainstream attention to a degree that it's going to damage Twitch on a massive level. Because this type of language and rhetoric is extremely distasteful. And I think that average people see this and they find it abhorrent. And the fact is that if you keep saying stuff like this and you keep doing this, you will eventually, in my opinion, like if I was Amazon and I found out this was happening, I would fire everybody at leadership at Twitch. I would. Because the fact is that the people who are leadership at Twitch have allowed this to happen. And they've allowed it to happen for a long time. It's not like this is just the first time it's happened. There's a pattern of behavior here. And I think that Twitch really needs to look at reining this kind of stuff in. Like, I've said things that were out of pocket before. One of them I said I did get reined in for. And so I don't think anybody should get permabanned for any of this in a lot of cases, but there need to be suspensions for openly calling for violence. It's really just not acceptable at all. Like, I can't see it in any other way. I think saying to kill a senator is worthy of a perma. Well, I mean, like, that's up to Twitch. But my point is that, and also, like, I mean, this is, again, like, kind of illegal to begin with, right? Twitch agrees? Well, Twitch doesn't care. That's the problem, is that Twitch doesn't care. And I think that the reason that Twitch doesn't care, this is my perspective, and I know this might be a hot take or whatever, but my perspective is that Twitch doesn't care because Twitch agrees with it. I think that Twitch likes this, like the people that work at Twitch and they work at the, you know, the leadership team, they like this brand of extremism, and that's why they're basically endorsing it by ignoring it. And I find it to be, and the problem is that I think in doing so, they're actually damaging their cause and they're alienating a lot of people. But only one way? Yeah, no doubt. Then why don't they ban you for doing the opposite? Oh, wait, they did? Yeah, they did. And by the way, when I got banned, I said I deserved it. That's fine. Right? I went too far. That's okay. People make mistakes. The issue is that when mistakes are only punished one-dimensionally or asymmetrically, that's when you have people that get radicalized. Because I think one of the biggest radicalizing factors that's happened in like the last, I'd say, 5 years is the fact that you have effectively two tiers of enforcement and two tiers of accountability. You have in one case where somebody goes and they say something out of pocket or they say something wrong, and then you have in another case somebody says something and then they get suspended for it, right? Either way, that's my viewpoint. I saw this and I think I need to call it out. It's fucking ridiculous. Absolutely fucking insane. People are openly calling for violence against elected officials.